Hi, my name is Brian with Ace Appliance in Toledo, Ohio, and welcome back to another quality video from ApplianceVideo.com. Alright, we have a GE microwave, and for this repair we're going to be replacing the main PVC board, or the PCB board, I'm sorry, the power control board. We found that the complaint was that the unit was running, but it just wasn't heating, so what we found was the relay on the board is not sending power to our high voltage side, which would be our magnetron and transformer and everything that creates the microwaves for the unit. So we'll be replacing the PCB board for this repair. The first thing we have to do to gain access to our control board is take our cover off the top here. To do that, there's going to be 2 Phillips screws on each end. Now we can pull our vent cover off. We're going to slide it to the left as much as we can. The bottom of this has 3 tabs across the bottom that will go into the keyed hole slots on the front face of the cabinet here. Alright, next we're going to take our control panel off here. There's going to be 1 Phillips screw that holds that in place here. And we're going to lift up. It's keyed and slotted tabs like the vent was here. Lift up and then pull it out here. And the bottom has 2 little legs that go into holes of the cabinet. Alright, to remove this we're going to have to disconnect our wires that go to the board. Some Molex connectors. Here you squeeze in on the tab and pull them straight out. There's also a ribbon cable that we have to pull the Molex connector tabs up, and then we'll be able to release our ribbon cable. And there's 2 wire harnesses for each of our relays. Everything else, all the other Molex connectors are going to be keyed so they can only fit onto the proper connections of the board. The only ones we need to take note of is the 2 relays wiring harnesses that come off. There's a blue Molex connector and a clear Molex connector. You can see them here, so we're gonna leave the blues on the right side, so we're just gonna take note of that when we go to put the new one or connect it to the new board. And there's also going to be a ground screw that we can. There's a Phillips screw for the ground screw that we have to remove, and now we can get our board off here. There's one more Molex connector here, and that's our PCB board here. And to remove the board, there's going to be 3 Phillips screws on the board that we have to remove. Now we can lift this, the bottom edge here of the board up, and the board actually has a tab on it that goes into this metal bracket, so just slide that out and remove our old board. And to install our new board in reverse order, we're just going to take the tab of the new board, slide it into the metal bracket at the top, and set the board down. There's a metal or a plastic tab that goes through this hole on the bottom left corner, and we can reinstall our 3 screws. And next we can go ahead and put our panel into position and reconnect the wiring. We can go ahead and with the board right here we can reconnect our ribbon cable, and we can show you here the tabs how we had to disconnect it. Basically this is where the ribbon cable for our touch panel plugs into the board. We have to lift up on the sleeve here of the connector and insert the ribbon cable. down as far as we can put it into the connector there. And then push the sleeve back down to lock it into place. Just make sure that you can't slip it out. That one didn't stay. Pulled right out of there, so it wasn't in there all the way. So we'll do that again. There, that time it went down in there. And snap it back into place. Give it a little tug, make sure it doesn't come out. Alright, we're going to put the 2 feet, or the 2 arms, legs here into the 2 holes of the front of the cabinet there. It kind of acts like a hinge. Set that into place there, and we're going to go ahead and reattach our ground screw first. Might be a little easier to do the ground screw before you mount it into place there. So we're going to attach this ground screw to that hole right there in the metal frame, and we're just going to reconnect all of our wire connectors into each place that they go into. And there's our 2 relays. The blue goes onto this side. The blue Molex connector will go onto that side. And get this all back together here. Alright, now with everything connected, we can go ahead and reattach our panel to the cabinet here. We're going to line up the tabs of the panel here to the holes of the cabinet. And then pull it down slightly to line up the screw hole here. Reattach our screw. And next we can reattach our vent. Alright, to reattach the vent, there's the tabs, 3 across the bottom here of the plastic vent cover. We're going to line those up into the keyed holes at the front of the cabinet here. And we're going to get these 3 tabs on the top of this. There's our 2 screws on each end. There's the 2 screw holes here. We're going to line these plastic tabs go inside of the cabinet. We're going to pull it all the way over to the left and line up our tabs. And then slide it over to the right to lock it in. Reattach our 2 screws. Alright. Now we can go ahead and grab a cup of water and put inside and turn it back on and make sure it heats up. Alright, we'll go ahead and place a cup of cold water in the center of the microwave. We'll plug our unit back in. This one is going to ask us to set the clock before we do anything else. We can't cancel it, so we'll go ahead and enter the time. And we have to select settings, 1 for AM, 2 for PM. And hit settings again to select. It tells us the clock is set, so now we can actually select a heating cycle. We'll go ahead and just put on for 1 minute. If you listen closely, you can hear when you first start it up, you'll be able to hear the turntable and everything come on, your turntable and fan, and then a second after that, then you'll hear the magnetron and transformer fire up if it is working. So it did appear that I could hear everything fire up, so we're just going to wait here. A couple seconds, we'll stop it here, and we should have the water should be getting warm. And it is heating up, so we're cooking again, and that will complete our repair. Thank you for watching another quality video from ApplianceVideo.com.